This production is made possible through a generous grant from the IKEA Monkey. Woo! 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 Woo!
Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of Art of the World on the BBC. I am your host, Christian Churchill, the 15th Duke of Marlborough. This week we shall be examining art from the exotic land of Germany. Wait, I just received a message? Oh, it seems I am contractually obligated to present art in the entire world, not just Europe. Today's topic is supposed to be India and South Asia. Why didn't I not receive the notice? Anyways, my great-great-grandfather, the 11th Duke of Marlborough, served in India and brought several very nice works. Here's one of my favorites, a wonderful work of the Queen's army taking out the heathen. Wait, I just received another message. Oh, art by Indians. Well, my great-great-grandfather was once a governor in India. People under his rule were so grateful that they gave him a gift of an organ shaped like a tiger giving one of our soldiers a kiss. Wait, that man isn't being kissed by a tiger, he's being mauled. Oh, art in India before 1200. Well, there's those statues of nude women, Hindu idols. Who are you?
I am your great-great-grandfather, reincarnated as a blend of Europe and India.
So why are you here?
I am here to guide you through the art and architecture of South Asia and India. Basically, I'm Virgil, and you are...
Dante.
Yes.
Well, I remember from my tenure at Cambridge that there was a civilization in the Indus Valley that left artifacts like a statue of a priest king. It's decorated with 3 lobe motifs called trefoils, and nobody knows exactly what it depicts. Well, here's that fellow now. The impressions on this figure's 3-lobed tunic were originally filled with red paint. His eyes were inlaid with colored shells or stones. As I said, this fellow is identified as the Priest King, which suggests a theocratic society. Several features of this figure, including a low forehead and broad nose, thick lips, and long slit eyes, seen on other works from Mohenjo-Daro. The only thing we know for certain is that with his formal pose, he has a commanding presence. I also remember that they produced seals of horned animals, a yogi, and a 3-headed animal that of writing that no man has been able to read thus far. These seals were often carved from stone and fired to create a lustrous white surface. As I told you, these seals from the Indus Valley were usually carved from stone, coated with alkali, and often fired to produce a white surface. Notice the writing, which we have yet to decipher. Many of these seals contain scenes which suggest a spiritual purpose. This is the buffalo seal, the yogi seal, and the 3-headed creature seal.
While those may be beautiful and enchanting, the art of Asia is vast and must be experienced up close. As they say in this area, One does not simply walk into Mordor. Okay, here we go.
I would like to thank my producers for borrowing all of George Lucas's techniques. They really added a lot to this production. However, as you can see, we are now in Afghanistan's Bamiyan Valley to see the giant twin Buddhas. These images have been carved from the sandstone cliffs behind us and are quite tall. The tallest is over 165 feet. Their location makes sense as this used to be a stretch of the Silk Road, so passers-by and pilgrims could get here in large numbers. It would be quite an achievement to do something like this even today. However, these were carved by monks in the 5th century. The clip you are about to see may be very disturbing. In 2001, in spite of international protests, the giant Buddhas were destroyed by Afghanistan's Taliban regime. I urge everyone to do all they can to preserve irreplaceable works such as these from destruction at the hands of ignorance. The world is a poorer place now since those charges would often brought 16 centuries worth of history tumbling down. Nearly all Indian art and architecture has a connection to religion. India's two primary religions are Hinduism and Buddhism. Each has their own distinctive style. Additionally, the northern Hindu temples have a different architectural style than the temples in the south. Here is an excellent example of a northern-style temple, which can be identified by the shikara or main tower being shaped like a beehive and topped by an amalaka, as well as the mandapas resembling smaller beehives. Here we have a temple in the southern style, as identified by the pyramid-shaped shikara and lack of mandapas. This structure is a stupa, or Buddhist shrine. They are usually not entered, but are easily identifiable by their unique dome shape.
We would like to take this opportunity to provide all of our viewers with a random art tip. While much art is subject to the ravages of time, restoration is best left to a professional. This fresco of Jesus was touched up by a volunteer. I'm the IKEA Monkey, and I approve of that restoration.
Because Hindu temple architecture is very uniform within the northern and southern regions, the artisans who built these complexes express themselves through the ornamentation of the temple exterior. This scene is from the Deogar temple at Uttar Pradesh. It depicts the Hindu creation myth, in which Vishnu dreams the universe into being. The piece is a relief panel approximately 5 feet high. Here we have the Chandarya Mahadeva Temple at Kajaro. It is a colossal northern-style temple which is best known for the erotic relief sculptures, of which there are 600. The purpose of the sculptures is not known. However, their placement is not random, as they form a single vertical line at the juncture enclosing the interior shrine. To the Western sensibility, many of these images are profane or bizarre. To India's Victorian overlords, they were shocking, and proof of the depravity of the native population. This is a reconstruction of an Ashokan pillar. Ashokan pillars were placed throughout the country by their namesake emperor for threefold purposes. Their primary purpose was to spread Buddhism through edicts and inscriptions on the pillars. A secondary purpose was to greet visitors. The last purpose is more pragmatic, as the pillars' colossal height made them very good flood markers. Ashokan pillars are identified by the lions and lotus patterns on their capitals. The lions are symbols of royal authority, while the lotus patterns are Buddhist symbols. Here is a standing Buddha from the Kushan period. Carved out of stone, it is 7.5 feet tall and originates from what is now Pakistan. It is a good example of how to identify a Buddha, as it possesses many of the 32 signs or lakshanas, such as the protrusion on the head, which is called the Ushanisha. Other symbols include the urna, which is a tuft of white hair between his eyebrows, as well as elongated earlobes. Built in the 12th century by King Surya Avarman II at Angkor, Angkor Wat is a sprawling complex of palaces and temples. Surya Avarman built the complex as a state temple and personal mausoleum. Breaking Khmer tradition, Surya Avarman dedicated the complex to Vishnu instead of Shiva. The temple proper is raised in an enclosure. The complex's cruciform layout does not indicate contact with Europe at the time, as cruciform designs are universal. The complex is decorated with several bas-reliefs, and is a sprawling array of structures functioning as both a temple and a symbolic cosmic mountain. Well, viewers, that concludes our sojourn around South Asia. I never realized how much art lay beyond Europe. I hope you enjoyed the journey as much as I did.
Promotional consideration provided by Mountain Dew.
I find this utterly demeaning.